not so loud.
Live.
Hi everybody, Vida along with Brandon. Vida
Hi.
from Fix This. Brandon from Thrifty Chic Home on YouTube, as well as our gardening expert on the weekends over here at 9 News. Anyways, today Brandon is going to show us how to make these awesome concrete, lightweight
Yeah.
planters, and they are lightweight, and I think that's what's so awesome about it is you look at it, they look really heavy, and those things are expensive.
Yeah, they are. When the really big ones can get really expensive.
Yeah, but you know how to make them, and you could just take a bunch of these and put them all over, and they're just adorbs. Can I say the word adorbs?
You can. That's still
I
a
can
thing.
say it. I'm sure someone's going to say
Yeah.
that's not a word. But anyway, so you're going to show us how to make these, and I was surprised that you made it in this little welcome baby box that you
Yep.
got for 95
95
cents somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, and it just goes right in there. Look at that. So tell us a little bit about the planter.
Yeah, it's really easy. That's the great part. So what it is essentially is it's 3 different parts. We've got concrete, we have perlite,
Yes.
and we have peat moss. So these are all common things. If you're a gardener,
You
you're
have
al-
it.
you have it. You
Yeah,
already have the stuff.
yeah.
You just might need to get the concrete. But I always have concrete around my house anyway. That's
Why-
that's normal,
what do you-
right?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What
What are you doing with that concrete? Think
So,
I'm
yeah.
fix my. I got some step issues going on in the front of my house.
Oh yeah, I'm right on it.
Okay.
Right on top of that, Rose. So what we did was you need like a form.
Okay.
And you need a form that's somewhat solid because the concrete has to be able to dry, and so it needs something that it can shape to.
So you're doing that.
Yeah.
You said you could also use I take it you eat Chobani.
A lot of Chobani.
So you did that. What else can you use? Give me some other. I thought I saw something else over
Yeah,
here.
I brought a basket too
Where'd that go?
somewhere.
Yeah.
You can use a basket.
Okay.
Really, anything that has a substantial shape. Oh, and I brought this too. This is a brie container.
Oh,
So this, if you want to make like a tray to fit
Yeah.
underneath, then you can use one of these things because then it can sit in that.
So it'll be like that.
Mhm.
You're so clever. If not, you could almost also create like a little. You're gonna make like a little divot in there
You could
for
make
your.
a soap dish. I don't
Oh
know.
my
There's
gosh.
so many opportunities with concrete, really.
Yes, and Pam, or I'll just generic Pam. Right
Yeah,
here.
that's going to be one of our tools here. So we talked about perlite. We've got peat
We've got
moss.
cement.
We have
You
cement,
have-
and I use quick drying
Okay.
cement because I tried with the regular drying and it takes forever to
People
dry.
are going to ask about this, so let's let them know what you got and where you got it. You got Rapidset Cement All.
Yep, I got it at
and
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
So you can buy it, and you probably want to buy it in a smaller box. Otherwise, you're going to end up with an 80-pound bag,
Yeah.
which will take a long time to use.
And it's probably not that expensive.
I think that was $5 or $6.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
in fact, that was on sale.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Okay, so you got that. You got. It looks like you got your water.
got some
You
water.
got your bowl and your spoon.
Mhm.
All right, you want to start showing us how to do that, and
Yeah.
then it really takes any plants that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it does, and
Okay.
you can put a drainage hole in it. I didn't in this one, but you can. You're going to be sculpting this, and I'll show you when we do that.
Okay.
You sculpt up these sides, so you can scoop away a little bit as a drainage hole.
Uh-huh.
I didn't put one in because what happens with these is that they breathe really easily,
Yeah.
so the water just kind of comes out anyway. So you don't really need a drainage hole,
'Cause
but
this
if you want
this
one,
one
you
looks
can
like
put
it's
it.
still drying from this morning, right?
Yeah.
You said so it's still very lightweight. You said it's going to get even more lightweight.
It'll get even lighter as it gets drier. When it's totally dry, it'll be really, really light.
And you could probably, if you wanted to drill some, you could probably get a drill.
You could drill a hole in it,
Drill
yeah.
a hole after.
That's
if you-
right.
If you decide that that's what you want. So
And they stay pretty soft for a while, actually, so you can carve away. Like I carved away these edges with a knife because it stays soft for about a week while it's curing.
they're so pretty. I love it.
Okay, so
tell me-
let's get started.
Show me.
All right, so we're gonna get our mixing bowl here.
Okay.
Now, what we need is we need equal parts concrete, perlite, and peat moss. So we're gonna
So
start with the concrete.
that is as easy as it gets.
Yeah.
So you got your measuring
Got a measuring cup
cup.
here.
So that's a 1 cup measure.
Yeah, I think it's a half cup.
Half cup. Okay.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be exact. Just try to get as close to possible as 1 part per.
And depending on how much did you end up using for this one then?
I ended
How
up
many cups?
using, let's see, so it would have been exactly what I'm doing now. So it would have been 1 cup of each.
That's easy
So
enough.
3 cups total, yeah. So we're gonna do about the same for this.
Boy, these are great gifts. You
Oh,
make this
definitely.
and put flowers in them. I mean, you can't go wrong. So you put the peat moss.
So this is the peat
Everybody knows
moss.
what peat moss looks like. It's just
Just brown peat moss.
that brown goo.
Brown goo. Brown mossy
Do
stuff.
you want me to mix it so I look like I'm doing
Yeah,
something?
actually you do.
Okay.
You do want to mix it when you get the different parts in here because then when you start adding the water, it's already going to be
Okay, now what did you do
mixed.
with that?
So now I'm adding the perlite.
The perlite. Tell me a little bit about perlite.
Perlite is really cool. It's a volcanic ash, and you'll always see this. People mistake it as feels like styrofoam.
Okay.
But it's actually volcanic ash, and it's really useful in the garden because it helps to aerate the soil. Like it keeps air pockets, and roots need air, and so they need those air pockets.
Look at that. It's just starting to look kind of a little bit like dirt, honestly.
Yeah, gray dirt.
And then you're going to add your 1 cup water, right?
Actually, it's not a cup. It's going to be, water is kind of like, you just add it as you go. It's all about the consistency.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you have a thick oatmeal-like consistency.
So everything's equal parts, and then water, you
Water's-
start slow.
It starts slow, yeah. The
Okay.
water you won't put a cup in. You'll have it'll be really soupy.
Okay.
Yeah.
No soupy.
No, it's got to
I
be
mean-
nice and thick because you have to be able to shape it
Okay.
around the container.
And do you want to wash your hands really good or wear gloves after this? Can't cement get a little rough on the
Yeah,
hands?
you probably will want to wear gloves
Okay.
because cement can get, if it dries on your hands, it can
Kind of
get,
eat your hands a little bit.
yeah, especially the quick dry.
Okay, so I would
Something.
say, yeah, just even if you got some plastic gloves or maybe gardening gloves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wash them
Yeah.
quickly. Okay.
All right, so let's do this. So I'm going to add a little tiny bit at a time, and we're going to mix that around.
Are you hiring a professional stir person?
Yes,
I mean,
this is Vida, my professional stir person.
stirrer.
Stirrer.
That's the title.
Stirress? I don't know.
Stir
what I'm saying.
awesome is what we are. All right, here we go. So
Okay,
add a
so
little bit more.
that, yeah,
was
so we
just a
need
little bit.
more. So we'll do a little more this time.
Okay.
Now, don't freak out if you add too much. Just put some more of,
Okay.
of your 3 components in.
So
But
yeah, you're adding very little amount. It's
yeah,
starting
'cause
to mix
it
pretty
happens
good here.
fast. I mean, it's easy to cross that line between
Is it?
too much water and too little
Too
water.
little, okay. I think that might do it.
And
Now
it's
it
got to
needs a
be
little
it's
bit-
got to be like thick. Like it's got to be enough that it still sticks together. So
Okay.
see, this is still not quite enough.
You don't think that's thick enough?
Yeah, it's got to be a little
let me-
more, maybe.
Raquel, are you zooming in on that? Will you zoom in on that for us? We want to show people so they don't overdo it or underdo it.
Yeah. So we're getting pretty close.
All right. Is it getting close? You think just a little bit more, or do you think that's going to stick?
Actually, you know what?
I think the more you stir it, so
I think we're getting there.
I don't know. Let's try it. You want to touch
Yeah,
it
and
and
it's
feel
good.
it?
You do, yeah, and you do want to stir it like Vid is doing here. You want to stir it for at least a couple of minutes so
Okay.
you can get everything mixed in. So
What do you think?
I think it's a little teeny bit dry.
Just a nudge more.
So we're
got
gonna
it.
get just a teeny bit more water in here.
Well,
It's like you don't really need very much.
Got
You'd be
it.
surprised at how little you need.
yeah. So this is getting thick, and I just love the consistency, which is so.
And
neat,
the smell. Doesn't it smell
Yeah.
nice? Belinda was over
It
here
smells-
earlier and she's like, let me smell that.
To me, it's not smelling like you guys are saying that you're liking it that much. I think it's a little. I can't tell you what it smells like, but it smells.
It's earthy.
It smells earthy. It smells like dirt.
It smells like a fresh rainstorm in the spring.
It does. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. It's starting to smell better now that you're saying that. Okay. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
now what we want to do? We want to do our chobani.
Yeah, but what we want to do
Okay,
first,
aha.
actually, because it might stick, it might not stick, but you know, it's good to have a secondary, to take some precautions here. So what I do is I spray it with cooking spray. So we've just got like some olive oil, basic cooking spray.
Kroger.
Kroger, yeah.
Anything will do.
Anything will do, yep. And then we're going to spray this. It doesn't have to be like a really thick coat, just a nice little thin coat. And that'll help it pop out of the container easier.
So neat.
Be sure to use a container that don't use glass or
Okay.
don't use anything like really hard plastic
You need
because you won't be
silicone
able to get it out of
Or
there.
yeah, silicone or plastic.
Yeah,
probably.
something
Or
you can tear away
even-
from it.
Yeah, or something you can tear away.
Yeah, or if you need to, you can cut it off with some scissors or an X-Acto knife, like if it sticks to that, but it won't. So.
Okay, you want to
Yeah.
put it in?
Yep. So just get a lot in there, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna shape it up
Shape it
the
out. So do you want me to
sides.
put everything in?
Yeah. Why don't you just dump most of it in there?
Okay. So I'm
Maybe up to about 2/3, because we still need room to.
gonna grow.
Yeah.
We're trying to hold it so
This
people
for
can
ya.
see. Oopsies.
That's all right.
That was a nice tablecloth you had there. Got it. How's that?
It's a hazard. There's cement on everything at my house.
Because you like that
'Cause
cement?
I just love cement. I don't know. I do.
I gotta figure out. I gotta come over and see what you're doing with the cement.
I do make a lot of planters. A
Oh.
lot of the planters on my patio are all
That's-
made out of concrete.
That's probably why. Okay. Do you want me using hands or do
So
you want
yeah,
me to?
you can use this smaller spoon if you want. That
Okay.
might help you a little bit. And then we may have to add more. It just depends.
Once we.
Yeah. So we're just gonna shape it. Now you want About a half of an inch at least for this size of a container. Now, if you've got a much bigger container, you need to increase the thickness of the sides. It
Got
just
it.
depends.
So half an inch.
Yeah, in this case, about half an inch, because
Okay.
we still want room to plant, but we need it to be substantial enough that it will hold together.
Got it. So here's that. I think you need to
We
make
need to
some
mix
more.
some more? All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to mix up some more.
You make more while I work on this.
All
and
right.
I'm hoping to.
Joanne says she missed the part about the ingredients. Do you mind?
Oh,
just
yeah,
repeating
sure.
that again?
So Raquel was saying, Joanne was saying she missed the part about the ingredients, but the beauty about it, Joanne, is we're going to do it again because we need some more. So he is saying equal parts while we're mixing this, equal parts of
Quick drying concrete.
quick drying concrete,
Or cement.
You call it
Cement.
cement. Yeah, I had a friend who's an engineer who gets mad when you call it concrete
Cement.
before it's dry.
Oh.
Yeah, so cement. Then you go equal parts
Peat moss.
of peat moss. So he's doing a half a cup.
Half a
I
cup.
say mix it up because we're going to want to fill this in too. So give a
Oh,
cup
you're
of
right.
each.
So we'll do.
So we're
we'll
going to do a full
lot
cup of cement.
more. A full cup of peat moss.
Cup of peat moss, and then a full cup of
Perlite.
perlite, which explain to her again what perlite
Sure.
is.
Perlite is a soil amender, and it's used to aerate the soil. You'll see it at any garden center or hardware store,
Okay.
and it's a lightweight volcanic rock material.
You know, I'd love to see what you could do. I wonder if you can get, those big tubs, like those big Home Depot tubs or whatever,
Yeah.
and make a big one and then cut it off after. Or
I think you could.
yeah,
As long as you can cut the form away from it, you can make
you
whatever.
can make a big one.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about going too quickly because this takes a while to dry.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
So don't
this
worry
is
too
still,
much
and I'm
about-
trying to evenly push it up.
And while Vida's doing that, I'm mixing a new mix here, and before I put the water in, I'm making sure that the material is evenly distributed in the bowl here.
Okay, so while he's doing that, I'm going to take some of this and put it in here so we can show you how to make the base. So
And let's pan that.
you're wanting to make and what this was just a top of a
Brie. Yeah.
So you eat brie?
I love brie.
Brie and cement.
I can't stop eating brie.
Brandon's favorite thing.
Brie and cement. And I know the key to my heart. It's brie and
I know what
cement.
to get you for your birthday. So I'm gonna show you how to make this one real quick, and then we'll finish up this one in a minute.
Right.
Because he's gonna work on that. So this one, we're literally gonna create a really cool planter base.
And I'm adding water slowly to this. Remember, you want an oatmeal-like consistency.
Okay.
Thick enough to use your sculpting skills on this.
Now, what I can do right here, I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna start just creating a little bit of a bridge so we can have it go up a little bit where it's lower in the middle, so you have a little bit of a drain area. But he's saying that a lot of this, automatically absorbs into the planter because it's that whole cement concrete base.
Yeah, the water, I mean, if you're putting it in a place like your windowsill or something, you're going to want to put like a little plastic tray under it actually,
Got it.
because every time you water it, it's going to kind of leach out a little
So
bit.
this is a little more
So this is
decorative.
more, yeah, and you could put this on like a countertop or something, a place
Yeah.
where it doesn't matter if it's a little bit moist.
I'm just gonna cast here. Oh, hello.
Oh,
I
there you
just
go.
found a-
The things you learn as you're working with
As you're-
concrete.
Just do your own. There you go, and that will fit in there perfectly, I think, when you're all done.
Oh yeah. And then
Yeah.
you can smooth the edges, but the nice thing is as it's drying, you can smooth it off. Like I smoothed that one with a knife and with a rag because it
Okay.
stays pretty soft.
How long did it take you before you could take it out of the mold?
A couple of days at least.
Oh, so we're not going to show them today.
No, that's why I figured I'd bring this other one in so you could see what it looks like. But they do take a couple of days to cure fully.
So Janine says she's going to make some today. She wants to know if they can be used inside.
Yes, absolutely.
Janine wanted to know if they could be used inside, and so Brandon said yes.
I did. I didn't. So yes, Janine, they can be used inside. In fact, they're better inside, especially in Colorado, because in Colorado we have the freeze-thaw issue. So in the winter time, you wouldn't want to leave these out in the winter because they're susceptible to freeze-thaw, meaning they're going to soak up water and they're going to freeze and they'll crack.
Oh.
So either cover them or bring them inside for
And then you can bring it
the
back
winter.
out in the summer.
Bring it back out in the
Not
summer.
till, what is it, Mother's Day, Raquel? What's the day? When could you go put your plants outside again?
Yeah, Mother's Day is our official safe day in Colorado. It's like the average last frost is Mother's Day. But you know, a couple years ago we got snow on Mother's Day,
Yeah,
so you never
we always
know.
do. So this is great because if you make them especially smaller, they're easy to probably take in and out. You can put them on your front porch. Have you tried painting them when they're done?
I think you could paint them,
I would think you could.
but I think the charm
Or
of these
whitewash
is
them.
that you can whitewash them. That's a good idea
Or
because you can
burn
buy a concrete stain.
Yes.
I'd probably use a white
Concrete
or whatever color
stain.
concrete stain.
Yeah, so if you want to make these in colors, they have beautiful concrete stains that people use on their garage floors and things like that. So, and I'm just making really those cool. So you could go get that stain and really
Yeah,
design it up.
a lot of options.
Okay, so this one, I think, does that look good for you?
That looks
Does
beautiful.
it need to be a little more flat, or you think
No, I
it's
like
okay?
that. The nice thing about these is it's like the rough edges give them more character, more
Got
charm.
it.
You know, it's
Yeah, because they do have that earthy feel, that antique feel. So there's your base. It's going to be the base for this once this is out. And he just did it in a brie container. So let's put it in now and finish off
all right.
our Chobani container.
So this is the consistency you want. You want an oatmeal-like consistency, so nice and thick because you need to be able to shape it, but not too soupy that it won't keep a shape.
So we already kind of have the bottom laid in there, and that's given us some more room. I think, can you give me a little bit more?
Yeah.
This one's a little, and I can always take out.
Yeah, if you have too much, take out. So I'll just give you some extra here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because once you kind of get your spoon into it, it kind of collapses a little bit more. It gets. Hopefully people can see. Kind of hard to do it sideways.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna actually get this one planted up here so we can show what it looks like.
So I'm going to pull this over, and he's going to plant this
Yeah.
one.
So this one, like we were saying earlier, I used a baby shower. What is this, like a take-home tote thing for people?
Yeah, like a party favor.
They had it on sale at, I think it was at Michael's.
For
and
90
for 95 cents. And that's your form. Now you can only use it once, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
so I put some cooking spray in that, and then I put this shape in here, so you can see how that fits right in there. And then about 3 days later, I popped it out. And you don't want the concrete to cure too quickly. It needs to, concrete is much stronger when it stays wet longer.
Got it.
Because when it dries out, the curing process totally stops. And if it dries out too quickly, you have some pretty weak concrete.
Okay.
So I kept spraying mine with water actually for a couple of days to
You
keep
did.
it nice and wet.
How
yeah.
often did you spray it each day?
Once a day.
Oh, okay.
You can also wrap it in plastic,
Okay.
and the plastic will maintain the moisture for as long as it
So
needs
it
to.
properly cures.
Yeah, it needs to properly cure because if it dries out too quickly, the curing process stops and it's brittle.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get this one planted.
Put this right there. Some free.
We've got some container soil here.
Kind of like craft. I feel like I'm part of a craft party.
Yeah, this would be a great.
For kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kids would
my
love
kids
this.
would love this. And then just
Make sure you put gloves on
the
them.
fact, it's funny because my daughter in school right now in their art class is like, we have to make a mug that you can drink out of. Like that's, they're going to get graded on that. And, with clay.
Something you actually use, not just
And
like.
so something like this would be a good kind of opportunity for them to practice
Yeah.
and create something that's, you take for granted, oh, I know how to make something like this. The kids, they're learning.
Yeah, exactly. Teach them about the chemistry process that happens.
Yeah, the
in-
science behind cementing.
Yeah, when cement cures.
Wow, that's pretty.
So I've got this beautiful succulent. Seems like succulents look really nice in these planters because they're a little more modern
Yeah.
looking.
Succulents very popular because I think they're so easy to care for. And we did a how to care for succulent segment in that succulent planter on Facebook, maybe a month ago, and that
Yeah,
just
they're
has
easy.
picked up on YouTube, and people really, really love succulents. So
They're easy, they're beautiful, and they love hypertufa. They call these hypertufa planters. They love these planters because they breathe so easily.
hyper.
Hypertufa, I know.
Bless you.
In other words, lightweight concrete.
Okay.
But that just means that it breathes really easily, and the succulents really like that. They like their roots to be able to breathe because the air just moves right through these.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned in the beginning, but go through talk about he did not put a drain in this because the water, the concrete absorbs it.
Yep.
But you could drill one on the bottom.
You could
if
drill
want
one,
to.
or you can shape one as you're doing it. You can just cut out a little bit from the bottom. But
Got it.
I didn't bother with it because even if you did fill this with water, probably 15 or 20 minutes later, it would leach out
Yeah.
because it won't stay in there.
Well, you could also use a straw probably to
yeah, you
create
could.
a hole on the bottom.
That looks great. Look at that.
Hold on, can you see?
I didn't know you were such a sculptress.
I am sculptress.
You're a mixtress and a sculptress.
Just call me mixture sculptress. All right, so this, we also have on the Fix This YouTube page, what we were talking about, the succulent care, how to make a succulent wreath. So just check out our Fix This channel, as well as Thrifty Chic Home. He's got a YouTube channel and a Facebook page with a lot of great ideas. So we'll put links to both of those at the bottom of our screen, and make sure you follow us and subscribe us on both of our channels. But let us know kind of some things you want us to make in the future. We would love to kind of hear from you about what you think is important out there. We're getting so many great ideas from so many people.
And if you have any questions, put them in there. Oh yeah, do we have some questions?
Yeah, we do. So Kim asked do they get over hot? I mean, do they get too hot?
Do they get overheated?
Some of them do, or will this one be okay?
Over.
As far as plants, maybe?
Yeah, will the plants
What plants would overheat in something like this? Would they? I don't think so, because it's so porous. I don't think you're going to have an overheat issue, depending on where you put it in the sun, right?
So the question is, do they get? Will the plants overheat? I think maybe that's referring to being outside and the sun's soaking up the heat. No more so than they would in a ceramic planter. These do get a little warmer than plastic would, for example. But if you have succulents in there, the hotter the better. You know, they love that
Right.
heat.
And make sure it's plant appropriate. So what it says in the plant, if it says don't put it in full sunlight, don't put it in full sunlight.
Yeah, it's really important.
If it's a sun-friendly plant, just look at your, do research. They have those little things on your plant when you buy them about what you can and can't do, and then you just follow those directions on where you put it.
When it is this small, the other thing to consider is you would never want to put a planter this small in the sunlight anyway, because
Okay.
it would dry out in an hour.
I would think so. Yeah, that's
you'd
maybe
always
what
want
she's
to.
asking.
Yeah, that might be what she's asking. You always want to put a small planter in the shade.
Okay.
You'd never want to put it in direct
Or
sunlight.
in indirect sunlight, like in your
Yeah,
dining
in
room where
indirect sunlight,
it
yeah.
doesn't have the direct sunlight on it.
Exactly, but
Okay.
don't put it in a window like
Okay.
with direct sunlight. It'll dry out too fast.
That makes
It's a good
sense.
question.
Yeah, great
Alright,
question.
A couple more. Can you give the formula for how much room you need for roots?
Formula for how much room you need for your
Ooh,
roots.
that's a tough question.
Yeah.
It really depends on how big you want the plant to get. Now, this is the general rule that I use. If I want my plant to stay small, then I look at the container that it came in, and you have to look at the roots when you pop it out. If the roots are all twisted and bound, that means it's root bound,
Okay.
and you want to break it apart a little bit. But if you want it to get bigger, you need to put it in a larger container than the one that it came in.
Got it.
Now, if you pop it out and the roots still haven't totally filled the container, then you can keep it in a similar size container, but just know that it won't probably get very big. Your plant will stay smaller if its root space is smaller. So generally, if you want it to get much bigger, put it in a bigger container. If you want it to stay small, then keep it in a small one.
Audra asked if you can color concrete.
Audra asked if we could color concrete, and we were having that discussion a little bit ago. They have cement paint out there that you could get at the store, and you could easily go in and take that and kind of wash it that color. I think it's more kind of a wash. We were talking about whitewashing it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I
You've
think.
seen whitewash. I've seen whitewash before on cement, so that would be one you probably would have to try. And then you won't want to just paint it, but I would say you might want to paint it and then take a wet rag and wash it.
Remember, if you paint it, it won't be quite as porous.
Yes.
So you would probably definitely need a drainage hole if you end up painting it, because that means the water is going to sit longer,
Yeah.
because the paint will hold the moisture in.
Got it. You want to let your roots breathe.
Yes.
We're not talking about these roots. We're talking about those roots. That's it?
Any more?
Someone asked just to see the finished product again, if you want to just hold it up.
Let's hold it up. Do you want to do a close shot on it? Raquel's going to do a close shot on the finished product. We'll put it down here, and you can just see it up really close. Is that a good spot, Raquel?
It's a good spot.
Okay.
You just set it down from where I had it.
Okay, where do you want, right here?
There you go, yeah.
Okay, there you go. So there's your finished product. That's what it looks like inside. Would you want to also put a little mulch in there?
You don't need to, but you could for decoration. Like if you wanted to, you could put some moss in there or something to hide the soil.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily need it. It would just be for decorative.
You could do some. They have those really pretty fairy moss kits. I've seen them everywhere. You can get a little moss and just put it around the top for added color. I think
Yeah,
that would be really
some
pretty.
green moss would look cool in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Jacob asked if they can fit more than one plant in it.
They could if there's like this one, for example. Sorry, Jacob's question
Yes.
was, can they fit more than one plant? This one could fit more than one plant. It just would need, you'd have to use you could use fairy garden plants because they're smaller.
That would be, you could make a really pretty fairy garden. We should do that. Let's
that'd
make
be
one
cool.
of these big
And make
then
a
come
fairy
back
garden?
and make a fairy garden. They did that last week. Raquel and Julie did it last week and it did so well. So if we could
Could
show,
do like a castle theme.
you could, because especially with the cement, you could almost make like stairs, or we could,
Oh,
let's come up,
totally.
we're gonna come up with some
Yeah.
ideas. So if you guys have any ideas of things you want us to make, let's try to make a fairy garden in this and then create other objects that would go in it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I
But
love
yeah,
that.
if you want, and if you want if you want more plants, just find a bigger form and make it bigger and make a bigger pot. But yeah, if we make the big one,
Yeah, we're
we
gonna
make
try
a
to do
fairy
that.
garden. We could fit a lot of plants in there.
We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're good. You guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, subscribe to us on Fix This on our YouTube channel, as well as Brandon's Thrifty Chic Home YouTube channel. And give us your ideas. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.
Bye.